Hello guys, and welcome back for another episode of Winging It FM podcast. We are here again this week, week number 5, podcast number 5. We're talking about the first day in the job. There's a little bit of a change today. We don't have Sammy with us today, so there'll be no Luton talk, which is good. But obviously we do miss little Sammy, our usual guest. So it's Lupus today. How you doing, mate?
Hi, I'm doing good. Thank you very much for having me.
And we have our other regular, Rampant FM. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. So going through the structure for today's podcast, we're going to go through our Football Manager save updates in a second. Then we're going to go through what we do on the first day in the job on Football Manager. Any first day rituals we have, superstitions, that sort of thing. How long do we spend on the first day? I know that can vary from Football Manager players. Then we're going to get into the quiz, which Rampant has prepared. Then it's going to go on to our Creator of the Week, and then end with our plugs. So, as you're our guest, Lupus, do you want to go through your Football Manager save updates?
Yeah, thank you. So my main save is my Journeyman that I'm doing on YouTube, and I am in the year 2028 currently. And I just started my 4th season with Schalke in the Bundesliga, and we have won the Bundesliga last year, as well as the Cup. So it was quite a feat, actually, because when I started the save, and from the point I started the save until now, it's all been Bayern Munich in the league. So they have been dominating the league terrorizing the league for the last 10 years. And I had to actually rebuild the team basically from the ground up. They were absolute shit when I got there. They were like not even Champions League regions. They were in and about Europa League, but not all the time. So, and the season I arrived, they just missed international football, and I had a lot of unhappy players on my hands who I had to get rid of, had to bring in some new talent, and yeah, it worked pretty well after 2 seasons which were kind of meh. The 3rd season was the one where we really got going and won the league and the cup.
Yeah, so I suppose it's quietly linked to that. My Football Manager updates, I've started the Fallen Will Rise series on YouTube, and it's with Schalke actually, the same as you at the moment. But yeah, I simmed 1 season into the future. So we started in 2018 rather than 2017, and they finished 10th or something like that.
Yeah.
So they had a couple of seasons of like not doing so.
Yeah, it's weird. They're doing really badly in the first season. It seems like when I started the save, they finished 12th in the 2017.
Yeah. Which is strange, because in real life, I think they finished 2nd.
Yeah, they did, and they actually have a really good team. It's like Goretzka alone is a player that can absolutely put this team into the 2nd gear.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, I started in 2018, so Goretzka went. What's the defender called? Is it Howardez?
Yeah, Benedict Howardez, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he went to Juventus.
Yeah, that's a deal that is done already, so...
So carrying on with my update, so before the last YouTube upload, we beat Hoffenheim and Dortmund in the big derby. Hoffenheim was the last live com. Dortmund was an offline game, which we won 4-2. But we are playing them again in a future live com, which will be good. I think that's in the Cup 3rd round, I think. Conor Plianka is just amazing. Inside forward, he is doing absolute bits for me in the league. And yeah, from the last update last week, we weren't doing so well. I think we were bottom half of the league. But we've moved up to 5th in the last sort of like 6-7 games. So it's looking good for us at the moment.
Just before I discuss my save, I just want to get Lupus's reaction to the fact that German teams are now going to be officially in the FM game, if that's all right. quite exciting, or?
That is absolutely exciting, and the parts of the German community that I interact with are already buzzing like crazy. We are super stoked to have a actually decent Football Manager game coming to Germany again. Like, the last Football Manager game that was officially released here was EA's Football Manager in 2014. And
Was that FIFA Manager?
yeah, the FIFA Manager, I think it's called in English. Like, and let's be honest, that game is not so good, to put it mildly. And we had to go through some hoops to get the SI Football Manager in Germany, like going through key sellers and stuff like that, because you couldn't order it on Steam or stuff like that. And it's gonna be amazing that we have the possibility now.
No, that's good. That's good. I wanted to ask you because I noticed. I think it was Miles was at an event in Germany like last week or something, and I noticed obviously that was the big news that the German teams are now going to be officially in it and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it's great news.
Yeah, they were at the Gamescom, which is a big German gaming convention that's held every year in Cologne.
Just to get into massive update, I actually had to watch one of my videos because I totally forgot. I've not been uploading a lot of YouTube. I've done my FIFA content and I've done my other catch up, and then I've done a Q&A recently as well. So I'm sorry for plugging. I don't want to be like Sammy, but yeah. So I had to refresh what I'd done in my last save. So I think the last time I left, we had that exciting draw with Motherwell. We played St Mirren, who actually went up to the SPL with us last season. It was a close game. We beat them 3-2, so we did get a much needed win. I think the most exciting thing from the save update is the fact that I've actually signed players, which I never rarely do. I've sort of kept the same team, fortunately for like 4 seasons now, because that was the point of my save, obviously, seeing how young players or Scottish wonder kids in quotation marks would develop. We signed George Byers, who in real life I believe is at Swansea. He's a young Scottish midfielder. He's looking pretty good for that level. Liam Henderson, the former Celtic player, he's at Chivas, or I can't remember if he's at Hellas or Chivas, and not Chivas, Chievo, sorry. It's not Chivas, they're a Mexican team, in Serie B. And I signed 2 regens, Willie Graham, who I've wanted for at least a couple of seasons. He looks really, really good. I signed him. And a young striker called David Ritchie, who also looks quite fantastic. So I'm upgrading the team, hopefully to push on to top 6, which is my objective for this season, and then hopefully pushing on to be competing against the likes of Rangers and Celtic. So, but yeah, that's my save update. We've got St Johnstone next, and I hopefully have more to say next week in terms of updates.
That's good. So you're not relying on the Wonder Kids anymore?
Yes, I kind of am, because I've kind of still went with the 2. I've kind of still brought in like 4 Scottish players. So I think George Byers could still kind of be considered a Scottish Wonder Kid. Liam Henderson, he's a bit older, but I think he could still be considered in that level. It's obviously just to make my team better and compete as well, which we are doing, in fairness, because we're like sort of mid-table at the moment, but it's just to really help our cause as such,
Yeah.
Speaking of Wonder Kids, that is one thing you can look forward to, Cookie, on Schalke, is they have an amazing youth facility. So, I brought, I think 3 players through the ranks that are now mainstays in my first team. And I had to sprinkle on top a little Uruguayan Wonder Kid that I bought for 3 million euros. And I now sold him to Monaco for 84 million euros. It's amazing. That is the cash I needed to strengthen the team.
Yeah, I mean, because I simmed 1 year into the future, we had the youth, the first year's youth intake, and there's about 6 players with 5-star potential.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I meant. They are just amazing at youth, creating youth talent. It's really really good good club if you want to do a youth challenge or something, because they have these amazing facilities. And there are a lot of players who came through the ranks over the years, like Leroy Sané. He was a Schalke player, for example.
Yep.
Yeah, and Manuel Neuer.
Exactly, Manuel Neuer as well. It's amazing. Just Mesut Özil as well was also a Schalke player once. One little fun fact: my best buddy actually played with Manuel Neuer in the same year. They were both born in '86, and they played together for like a season in not at Schalke but at a Gelsenkirchen, which is the city Schalke is based in, club. It was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So with the license, are Schalke going to be known as Schalke next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the license is for the Bundesliga and the second Bundesliga. The Dritte Liga, the third division, is still like you still have to deal with abbreviated names or stuff like that. I'm not sure how it's gonna work, because the first thing I do when I start FM or buy a new FM is chugging on the real name fix.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, I think that should include the German national team, because I'm pretty sick of having to do that one file for the German national team.
Exactly, and now you're able to actually get offered the job of German national team manager, which was not possible before.
It's great news. Great to have German football included in the game like that, because that's a big miss, because they're one of the sort of big leagues that everyone sort of adds to the game, but it just doesn't feel as good. Like, I've not played in Germany in so long because of that. Although there's fixes and whatnot for it, it just doesn't feel as authentic as other leagues, I would say.
And is the prize money, because obviously the prize money in FM for the German league is very high, is that realistic?
I think it is, actually. I am not too familiar with the prize money in Germany, to be fair, but I think it actually is realistic. Like, I know it's pretty high, but I mean, we all know the Premier League is pretty high as well, so that's the main reason the Bundesliga clubs in FM can compete with like the Premier League clubs and the Spanish teams and stuff like that.
So moving on to our topic today. So it's the first day in the job as you load up Football Manager. So the first day, and we're just going to go through like what do we actually do. So Lupus, as you're the guest, I'll let you speak first.
All right, this is going to be a bit. I might ramble on for a bit here. So it kind of depends on the team that I'm managing. Like, if it's a team that I know in and out, I know what I'm going to do, then the first day usually takes me like an hour or so. But if it's a team I have to get familiar with, I look at the players, I look at the team report, which is a very important tool for me. Like, where are our strengths, where are our weaknesses, which areas maybe do need work. And one of the biggest things for me when I start at a new club is looking at the staff. Like, I want the best staff possible. And when I go to a smaller side and there's like a scout with force in judging ability and judging potential, he's getting shown the door like immediately. And then I try to get some good stuff in. Like, because especially scouting for me is one of the most important things in Football Manager. Like, I want to be able to find good players. Like, I don't want shit players that my scouts think are amazing because they can't really judge their ability or their potential.
Exactly. Agreed.
And then I'm gonna have a look at my coaching staff, like my assistant manager, is he decent? I like to get someone in that compensates my weaknesses. Like, depending on the manager profile I'm using, I have like weaknesses in, I don't know, like defensive coaching or attacking coaching or whatever, and I like to get someone in that compensates that a bit. And as well as someone that is professional. Like, I always look for professionalism in my staff, and having good determination and everything. Yeah. So that is one of the first things I do when I go to a new club. And you can say it's kind of a ritual, basically. Like, get the stuff sorted.
Pretty much agree with everything Lupus said there. The only other thing is obviously setting responsibilities. I make sure they're all correct and whatnot, because I don't want to have someone do a job that I want to do myself, sort of thing. And I look at affiliates. I look how the club is kind of structured. Obviously, we've mentioned a lot about the director of football and stuff. If I take over a club with a director of football, it's obviously look at that to make sure that they're not doing anything I don't want them to do. Affiliates, obviously, I want to depending on obviously if I'm wanting to get the best out of my youth, I'll probably try and loan them to affiliates. That's obviously a part of assessing the club and whatnot. But generally, it's like what Lupus said. If I'm joining a club, I kind of know about their team and their structure and their league. That's another thing, obviously, if I'm joining a sort of new league that I don't really know the rules, for example the MLS, I'll definitely be checking that. I'll be checking pretty much everything that you can check. Also kind of like setting up my friendlies. I tend to cancel a lot of friendlies if they're against so let's just say tougher opposition, because I really want to play people that are, or play teams at the same level, unless there's like money involved, I guess, if I'm part of like a summer tournament or something like that. But I generally try and get the morale up by playing either teams at our level or less, because there's nothing better than a preseason where you've just like thrashed everyone 9-0 or something, you know. So other than that, I mean, that's pretty much everything. I mean, I don't tend to take too long with my first day, depending on teams. I wouldn't say I rush through it, but certainly I don't take hours with it. I tend to know a wee bit about their team and whatnot, and it's only just really the league that I might be kind of unsure about, or stuff like that. But yeah, generally just an overview. Team reports don't really mean much to me in terms, like Lupus was saying about staff. That's another thing I sort of concentrate on. I don't take into account too much of the team report if the scouts are terrible. I will do what he said basically and try and get the best staff possible. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What am I doing my first day?
Another thing that I do just realize is looking at the comparison where we stand in the league in terms of ability and technical attributes and mental attributes and everything, because that is something I base my tactic on. Like, if we have like shit passing players, I don't want to play a short passing game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I just want to hoof it forward and hopefully someone's gonna score or something. So stuff like that is also really important to me. But I've read of people and heard from people who take like 4, 5, 6 hours, like a whole evening, just doing the first day. And that seems a bit excessive.
That's insane to me. Like, I set my tactics up like a day before we have the game or something, you know.
1-2 hours, that's fine, but not like 4 or 5, a whole evening, whatever. That's nuts.
Agreed, mate. That's way too indulgent, let's say that.
What I would say is I have been known to take... I could take up to 4 hours. I definitely could.
I think it's dependent on team though, Cookie. Like, if you're a Premier League team, for example, they've got their under 21s, under 23s, sorry, and they're under 18s. So you're wanting to assess pretty much that whole team, and because it's like official and whatnot, it's like actual proper like full squads, if you will. As I say, it depends on the team. If they've only got like a B side or a reserve side, you're going to take less time than actually assessing the whole youth of an EPL team and whatnot for like loans, or if they're contracts and basically everything that entails, really.
Yeah, I have to say I do agree with both of you for what you do on the first day. I think one thing that you haven't really mentioned for what I do is I tend to leave my under-18s or whoever's on a youth contract in the under-18s, and I'll move everyone from the reserve or under-23 squad into the first team, and I'll leave them in there for the whole of pre-season, and I'll organise about 8 to 10 friendlies for all pre-season, just to give every player a chance to show me what they've got. Because sometimes I don't really rate what the coaches or assistant manager or scouts say the star rating is. Because I've had players before on like 1.5 stars for Man United who have banged in like 4 goals against Chelsea or whatever. So I don't really concentrate too much on the star ratings, but just how they perform when I'm actually playing the game.
Oh. So you actually watch all the preseason friendlies then?
Yeah, I tend to watch preseason friendlies on extended highlights.
Okay.
I know there's some people out there that do like the full match during preseason so they can get a proper eye for what their tactic looks like.
Right. See, I'm more of a assistant manager takes preseason friendly type guy, you know.
Yeah, same. Like, if we play like an opponent that is on our level, I might watch it. But if we play like one of the, I don't know, non-league teams, it's just like, yeah, whatever, do it.
Yeah. For me, it's, as I said earlier, it's about building up morale and match fitness rather. So it's like I don't really go too much in depth because it's not really competitive as such. So basically win by like 9 goals and then everyone's happy.
My highest preseason result was like this season was a 15-0, I think. That's amazing when you see like your 2 strikers score 5-6 goals each, get a 10 point rating. That's amazing.
It's kind of a cheat.
Yeah, I think...
Sorry, it is a cheat, isn't it? Really, but that's what I do. It's literally just to get the morale up before going into the opening game. Like team chemistry and whatever sort of comes naturally, but like the morale is a big thing for me, especially with the new dynamics and whatnot. So I really want my team to like have a really good preseason, even though we're playing like probably like lesser teams, if not like same level. I try and go for same level, but I if I see a lesser team's free, I will play them and defeat them like 1,000,000 or whatever. So
yeah, I have to say I've got sort of mixed feelings on friendlies, depending on what team I am, obviously. Because if I'm Man United, I'm not gonna go and play the big other clubs for money because they've already got a ton of money. But if I am someone like Crawley, I'll look at see what's the highest level of opposition I can play. Maybe I'll play like 3 or 4 big teams just to get a bit of revenue in, and then a couple of sort of morale boosting friendlies.
Do you play them at home then or away?
See, a couple of years ago in FM there was this thing you could do where you'd organise like a league or a cup, and you'd get like a ton of money. But I think they've stopped that now. But when I've done it this season, I've done it at home so that they bring all the people into us. It seems to work all right.
Yeah, because makes sense. Because if you do it away, then there's probably not a lot of fans who want to make the travel, so you don't get as much gate receipts and stuff.
Yeah, I know when you do play an away friendly, the other club pay you to come to them, but I don't think it's the same amount.
Yeah, it's not really worth it if you're a smaller club, because the smaller you are, the less they have to pay you, because I think it's based on reputation or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting that everyone has their own strategies for getting into the first day and do what they can and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, I still think that if you take like 4 or 5 hours, no offense, Cookie, but it's a bit excessive. But like 1 to 2 hours, depending on the team I'm managing, or maybe even if it's a team I know really well, like the team I support in Germany, Hanover. I know them really well, and if I go there, I know, okay, they need scouts. This is the area I need to strengthen. This is what they can do. I'm be done in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's interesting though, because if you know the team, like if it's a team you sort of support or you know really well, you kind of go into the game knowing exactly what you need to do. So it takes less time, obviously, and But that's another thing. Obviously, one thing I've probably forgot to mention. First day, I am looking at transfer targets as well. That's the one thing I think we all forgot to mention. I don't know if you guys do that first day, but certainly if I know that, like, say a team needs a midfielder, I'm going to be looking straight to the scouts. Right, I need a midfielder. Get a scout report on this guy. Blah 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 blah, and I'll be looking at that as well to basically add to the team and see how quick I can basically get that person in. Usually it's on your first day, you have to wait a wee while because it's not quite transfer deadline, or so.
Yeah. One thing I also do is look at transfer listed players, which is something I've done over the last 2 FMs, that I mainly signed players who were actually transfer listed, which is, especially if you're managing a smaller club, is a really good thing to get a player that can actually take you to the next level. If the big teams are casting off their guys, one player that I really like in FM, and that's usually available second season or something, is Marko Grujic from Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
He's amazing, and he never really quite makes it at Liverpool. And then if you're a smaller team, you can come in and say, "Yep, yes please, one Grujic please, I'll take them."
No, I have to agree with that, to be honest. When I first start a save, I'll have at least, especially if I'm using my supported club, United, or my local club, Bournemouth, I know exactly what I need to strengthen that team. So I'll have a list in my head already of 10 plus players that I can go and scout, go and look at.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's a club that I'm not really familiar with, I wasn't really familiar with Schalke. I've never managed Schalke before on FM with my YouTube series. So it did take me a couple of hours to go through everything and have a proper look at the squad, especially seeing as we're 1 year into the future as well. But yeah, the transfer listed players it's just genius, to be honest, because you can pick up Tammy Abraham for 50% of his value.
Yeah, exactly, and then he's gonna be amazing. Or another player that I really like to pick up, and then my buddy picked up in our save that we did in the Premier League, was Paddy Roberts. City released him. He was on a free, and yep, I take that. Thank you.
That is just insane. He's such a good player as well.
Yeah, exactly. But he's good, but he's not Manchester City level, to be fair. He could probably be if they would give him game time in FM, but I'm not sure. Not really sold on that.
I mean, I'm surprised that Celtic never tried to get him again. I don't know if they did or not, but obviously they have kind of abundance of wingers in real life, but I was really surprised that he went to Girona. I know Man City, that's their kind of feeder club, if you will, but still, it's a bit of a weird one. I'm going to Girona in Spain, but we'll see how it works out for him. Man City, Chelsea are another one that are quite bad with stockpiling players, if you will. I think I read the other day that they have 54 or something, 50 odd players loaned out, which is just insane, really.
That is nuts, yeah. But I mean, it's Chelsea after all, so you can say it's very realistic, especially and they still do that 10 years into the game. I don't have the Premier League loaded up because I'm doing my journeyman under certain rules. But I think if I had them loaded up, they would still do that. If you go into the under 18s and under 23s, you're yep, loan.
I mean, it's Lupus. I don't know if you know this, but I'm really into sort of having a young team and loaning folk out and stuff. But 50, I just can't imagine that, man. That's just way too much. Yeah, that's just insane. That would.
I mean, honestly, who doesn't like a young team? To be fair,
that would take 4 hours. If I was manager of Chelsea, I think that would take 4 hours to try and work out what the hell I was doing. So, yeah.
Imagine when they all come back off loan.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Getting the report, it's scroll. Oh my god, there's 50 players coming back from loan. What the hell am I doing with them?
Imagine someone actually. That should be a challenge. This is an idea for any Chelsea fan out there. Try and keep all your players at the club and see what what happens in terms of dynamics? Like, do they all start moaning, or because I'm pretty sure that would be a headache. Everyone would be unhappy.
Like, or especially like if they come back and then you do what Cookie does, like get all your under 23s into the first team for preseason friendlies. Oh, good lord!
A squad of like 90 players.
Yeah, I need to play every one of you, so I'm just gonna arrange like 20 friendlies.
Oh god!
Like one every 2 days.
Oh god, that's I don't know how that would work with squad registration. Like, you would have to change the squad registration every week.
Yeah, like in Germany it's not a problem because we can have a squad of 99 players.
Oh god,
Not a big deal, but
oh.
in the Premier League it's like what, 25?
Yeah. In Scotland it's 25, but like it's only to do with numbers as such. Like, you have to have a 1 to 25. So for example, if you bought a player and he wasn't in your 1 to 25, you would just swap him out with someone. Like, say someone was number 10 and he wasn't playing or injured, you would just basically swap the shirt number.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's crazy. Like, absolutely crazy. That's a challenge for anyone. FM19. That's a free one from me. If anyone wants to do that. I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm not going to do it. But
So one thing we haven't actually mentioned is training.
see, for first day, I never mention training because usually on the first day my players are on holiday, so it doesn't really come into first day as such. For me anyway, depending on what league it depends where you load your league though, because some people do actually load that a wee bit further, but I usually do the one that's sort of like before preseason, if you will, like the earliest possible one, so training doesn't really come into my first day as such. But in some leagues it does, and then of course I'll obviously set up my training, pretty much team cohesion and fitness all the way until we get into competitive games.
Let's not get into the fact that training is not really where it should be for a Football Manager game, and hope they change that for FM19. I chuck on like tactical training as a team training for the whole season. Like I just do it on tactics, and then I'm like, yep, I'm good, and defensive work for match preparation. That is the two things that I just have. I take that and it's fine, it's good, all good. And what I do for individual training though is train the players that I have for the roles I want to play in my tactics. Like, especially if I have like a young player that like maybe can be shaped into something else. Like, he's a winger, but I want to train him as an inside forward on the other side. Like, I get that started straight away. And then for the senior players, it's like, yeah, you play mostly as a ball-winning midfielder, so I train you as a ball-winning midfielder. You play mostly as an, I don't know, whatever, Mezzala, I train you as a Mezzala. Stuff like that. And it's worked pretty well for me so far. Like, I know it's not the most efficient way, but, like, to be fair, training is such an afterthought in this game over the last couple of years. Like, I don't want to go back to where it was in like FM11, 12, 13 with the training plans and have to micromanage every little detail. That was a bit too much for me as well, but yeah, I expect a bit more from a Football Manager simulation, to be honest.
I mean, there's no sort of secret to what I do. I'll literally just switch it up depending on who we play. For example, if I'm playing Celtic the next game, I'll just go straight to defending. If I'm playing one of the lesser teams, I'll go to attacking. And I just tend to switch between everything. So all my overall training's quite balanced, rather than have like.
Yeah, but I think from what I remember is that for the overall squad training you need to have something on for like 3 months to show any effects. Or do you mean like you switch to the match preparation training?
It's just match preparation training I'm talking about. Yeah, so it's. I switch between about everything, to be honest. So when I look at the sort of circle, everything's pretty much balanced, if you will. Not actual balance as in the balance training, but like everything that entails is balanced, basically.
So you work on each category.
Pretty much, yeah.
One thing that really I really take into account after I heard from it is I asked Cleon on Twitter recently which training categories are improving which attributes, and it's something that I really have a look at right now. And like I said, I check on tactics, the tactics training for the whole squad. And actually, tactics are training anticipation, composure, concentration, decisions, and teamwork. And especially teamwork is one of the most important attributes in Football Manager for me. Like, if you can be the shittiest player in the world. If you have good teamwork and high work rate, you're in my team. Especially when I manage lower league clubs, I don't look at the technicals. I look at the physicals and especially these two mental stats. I want them to be as high as possible as I can possibly get, because, like they say, teamwork makes the dream work.
True.
Yeah, I have to agree with both of you on training though. I do think it needs an overhaul. Speaking about FIFA Manager earlier, that the training on there was actually really detailed, and like you had to actually make a plan for like the whole week.
Yeah, I have no clue. The last FIFA Manager I played was like 11 or something. No clue whatsoever.
But the other one is, I don't know if you remember LMA.
LMA, yeah. I loved LMA. I loved LMA Manager. Oh, I saw someone play it recently, Cookie, and honest to God, I was like, I wish they had a version of that game, because it was predominantly a console game. But if they had a manager game like that on a console today, it would be like up there for high sellers. I would certainly buy it anyway.
Yeah, I think they made 2 copies of the 2004 one, one for the PC. I think that was the only copy for PC.
It's a shame. It's a shame. They need to bring that back, or at least I don't think Football Manager would work on console, but certainly like a game like LMA would certainly be very, very welcomed. But I don't know who owns the rights or whatever, but certainly I loved LMA. That was probably
okay. That must be a purely British thing, because I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much British, mate. Yeah,
it might have been.
It was fantastic. If you sort of Google it or something, it was well loved, man. It was such a good game.
I mean, we had football managers too. Like the one big one that we had in Germany was called Anstoß, which translates to kickoff, and it was super fun because they had these little sound bits for your team talks. Like that was so amazing. Like you would click on, okay, just give them like a proper angry team talk, and then you would hear a sound file play, like shouting at the team, like insulting them. Actually, that was so fucking funny. And they actually had one sound bit that I remember quite fondly. That was a snippet of Life of Brian, like where he comes in like, "Oh, it's all fine, Brian. Sit down, have a cookie," stuff like that. Yeah, that was so amazing, and I played that for like, oh god, I don't know, hours on end.
Just on that note, Lupus, they had something similar in, I think it was actually the last LMA, which was like 2003 or 2004, where if you plugged your headset, I played it on the Xbox, but if you plugged your headset, you can actually pretty much shout the instructions like direct, or whatever the instructions were, direct, pass, blah blah. So it was kind of like a similar idea. Yeah, that's, oh god,
oh god, that is amazing. Imagine that for
that would be.
Oh god, like being a proper like standing on the touchline.
The thing is, I don't know how they would understand me, because like obviously I said to you, Lupus, that I was going to try and put an English accent so you'd understand me, but but never worked out that way, mate. But yeah, it's I just don't know how they actually understood, because I was like a young Scottish boy at the time, and I was just like shouting, "Go, fed it, hit it," or whatever, you know. I don't know how the game understood it. It must have just been like, "Oh, he's just we'll go anything," you know.
Yeah, he's just randomly shouting stuff, whatever.
Shouting and swearing. It's like, okay, the team are playing better.
God, like imagine this. There are already people who dress up in a suit and tie for Champions League finals and stuff like that. And imagine now you have your headset on and actually can shout directions. Oh my god, that would be amazing. That will make for great YouTube content, that's for sure. Although sometimes I do feel like the FM listens to me anyway. So.
It's like
oh, like I have a player at Schalke at the moment who is really, really good at penalties. Like, we're talking 95% conversion. And the first penalty he took, first game of the season, like, he never missed a penalty. And what happened? He smashed it at the crossbar.
You know, it's funny that, because it's like everything else these days. If you like Google something 3 months ago, it comes up in like all your ads now, and you're like, wait, how did they know that I wanted to buy that at one point in time? And then you're like, you can't remember. You're going through your history. You're like, how's that? Everything's totally connected. You met, like, I've had thoughts of certain things, and it's literally came up on like Amazon and stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, I think they've started putting like microchips in our brains or something every time we go to the doctors or something like that, because it's really, really weird. It's one of those, you start getting paranoid about it. You're like, where are they watching me? Where are the mics in my home? I don't know.
I think the main point I was trying to make there from the sidetracked LMA conversation was the training there was really good as well. I was going to say there's like lots of parts of different Football Manager games that FM can take to make the training better.
Yeah, I feel like for FM19, I think it's gonna start a whole new life cycle for the game. Like, it looks like they're gonna overhaul a lot of stuff, and with them like pushing into this new market in Germany, it's really good that they take a look back at all the old features that might need an overhaul, because that is something that they will do. Like, not really focusing too much on new stuff, which might be bugged or something, but looking at the old stuff, looking what they have right now and make that better, is something that could really spark a new interest in the game as well. And I'm really looking forward for what's to come in the next years.
I agree. I mean, the way that it's looking now is they're really kind of making a divide between sort of experienced and more casual players, because that's why you've got things like FM Touch that's now available on PC.
Yeah.
So that's going to be for the more sort of casual guys, and the actual game itself is going to be a bit more intensive, and they're going to add hopefully better training and more like it's keeping guys like Cleon in business basically, and everyone's reading new stuff. So
exactly.
Yeah, so
the one thing I mainly look forward to be honest, though, is being able to download FM Mobile.
Yeah.
Like, I wanna when I'm at work and have nothing to do, I just wanna whip out my phone and just get the FM fix. It's been on my mind this couple of days. Like, when you start a new save, this is amazing. I started a new save, I tried to start do a Sir Alex Ferguson challenge, and I got Huddersfield, and that went really badly. But when I started the save, I was at work, and like, oh my god, I need to strengthen the defense, I need to do this, I need to do that, tactics. Like, my mind was constantly on FM, and I was like, man, if I could just whip my fan out and just play it, just to get that, just to scratch that itch.
That's addictiveness, mate.
Yeah, I know. Like, FM18 is the one where I started creating content on YouTube, and it's my most played FM, but I still not even scratched the 1,000 hours. I'm at 911 hours right now, which is not too much actually compared to some other people.
No, not at all. Just on that, actually, I've noticed there's people that have played like more hours than probably any of us, and they give it a bad review. It's like, I mean, I don't think I remember playing any other game that amount of time and thinking it was bad. So, I mean, I've had issues with FM this season, FM18, like issues with laptop or whatever, right? And I've still wouldn't necessarily give it a bad review, sort of thing, because I still enjoy the game, if you will.
Maybe they gave it a bad review after like 10 hours or something, because something happened that they didn't like, and then they just continued playing, and the counter for Steam, of course, goes up.
I just think it's weird. I mean, that's not just FM that happens in it. It's like other games too, where it's like I've played the last 3 months or something, but you hate the game. It doesn't make much sense to me, like, but
it's weird. But then again, people
Yep.
are weird.
True.
Especially on the
Yeah, true.
No objection there, I guess.
Okay, so moving on then, we're going to move on from our main topic. Hopefully you found it a bit insightful, a bit helpful. If you do have any questions for us about what we've discussed, then just drop it in the comments and we'll get back to you on that. But we're going to head over for the quiz now that Rampant has prepared. So unfortunately Sammy's not here, so it is just myself against Lupus.
Yeah. I never really gave any details to any of this time because it was a bit of a pick and mix really of questions to do with sort of managers and just a pick and mix really, but we'll get into it.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't listened before or don't know what the quiz is, so Rampant's going to ask us 5 questions. If it's a tie at the end of the 5, then there'll be a tiebreaker 6th question. But to answer the questions, we have to buzz in with our names, so Cookie and Lupus. First one that Rampant hears will get to answer the question. If that person does get an incorrect answer, then the next person, obviously there's only 2 of us here, so we don't need to buzz in again. So the other person will get to
Yeah, actually, I totally forgot. I forgot already that there's only 2 of you, so there was no point in that actual. Yeah, sorry about that, man. But
usually we do have to buzz in again.
Yeah, there's. I don't know if you've heard, Lupus, but these quizzes have become somewhat controversial. So on who's won and whatnot.
That's good because controversy creates.
That's true. Another wrestling reference. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching this shit for over 20 years.
I'm the same man. I'm the same man. Right. So we'll get down to it. Again, it's not going to be an easy one. Last week's one was fairly hard. I think that guy JC done really well, but it was fairly difficult. This one's along the same lines, but I'm pretty sure you guys might have a few answers correct. But we'll get into the first question. Okay. Les Reed has the honour of being the shortest ever manager reign in the Premier League, but which team did he manage? I can see it's going well already.
I've never even heard that
Cookie?
name.
Go ahead.
It's a tough one, but I'm gonna go Southampton.
Incorrect. Lupus, do you want to have any ideas?
I can just have a wild guess, right? Yeah. Let's say Sunderland.
Nope, it was Charlton. And he was only in charge of Charlton with 40 days, which is quite terrible. I think that's less than Brian Clough at Leeds, actually, but never mind.
Yeah, I have no clue. I know he's the director of football or head of youth development at Southampton. So
he is, yeah. He was actually voted. Well, I don't know if it's an official vote, but he was actually among the votes, I would say, for the worst Premier League manager there's ever been for his time at Charlton. So this is a funny one because I actually wrote this quiz before Lupus was actually announced as the guest. So hopefully you get this one right, Lupus, because it's to do with your country. So the second question: how many times have Germany not been at the World Cup? Go ahead.
Lupus. Never.
Incorrect.
Ah, damn it.
Cookie, you want to give it a go?
Gonna say once.
Nope. The answer is twice. They've only twice in their history have they never been at the World Cup.
Ah, crap. There was a World Cup before or right after the World War, right? Like 1950?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, there's been a couple at least. I did research this, so I'm actually a wee bit worried about this third question, but I'll give you a hint. The key word in it is British. All right, so keep that in mind. Which is the only British team to have 100% record against Barcelona home and away in Europe? Go ahead.
Lupus. Celtic.
Nope.
Ah, damn it.
Cookie?
Well, I'm just going to go for it. Rangers?
Nope, it's actually Dundee United. Right, which city has the most clubs competing in its country's top division?
Lupus.
Go ahead.
London.
Absolutely correct, yep. It is London, obviously Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, Watford I think are included, and Crystal Palace, so Lupus is 1-0 up. But not to be disheartened, because the next question is worth 3 points. I don't know if it's a tough one or not. Obviously, questions, if you know the answers, it's never tough. How many MLS clubs are based in Canada, and can you name the clubs?
Lupus.
Cookie.
Oh, Lupus got there first. Lupus, go ahead.
Alright. 2. Vancouver Whitecaps and Toronto FC.
There's actually 3, but you did get 2 right. Any ideas on the last one, Cookie?
Yeah, so it's Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal.
Yes. Yeah, so I don't know. How does that work? So, well, Lupus is still 1, I think. It's 3-1, I think. So, so Lupus technically wins, I guess.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I still got the 3 right.
Unless if you're doing that, but yeah, that's so. Oh yeah, I suppose you did. But then he had already named 2.
Yeah.
Like it's worth 3 points. So you just give a point for each club.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that was right. But then again, he did actually already say like 2 of them. So I don't know. More controversy.
I'm happy to give it to Lupus.
Oh, thank you, man.
He did get the other question right anyway, so.
That's true. Yeah, that's what I was going with, hopefully. So tough questions, if I say so myself. I try and make them tough, yeah.
Yeah, you did a good job on that, I think.
Yeah, you should have been there for last week's one. I do not know how JC got all all 8 teams of the Champions League logo. Yeah, that was. I think he googled that. I'm not gonna lie, but he was already winning, so it's fair enough. I actually listened to it back to check that he didn't get in the order that I got it in. I was like, if he's got it in the order I've got it in, then I'm calling BS on that, like. But no, he never actually. So in fairness, he might have known it. JC's going to listen to this and be like, I never cheated. Right. Yeah, quiz, more controversy, but Lupus does win. Who hosts the quiz next week, Lupus? You've got choices of either myself, Cookie, and I guess Sammy if he's available.
Who's gonna do the questions? Host the questions?
Yep.
Let's go for Cookie.
Cookie is...
Hey.
So the quiz champion gets to answer some questions again. I.e. me.
No, I'm hosting the quiz next week.
It'll be interesting. Depending on who's the guest, and obviously if Sammy's back in it, it'll be quite good. Yeah.
Okay, so we will move on to our creator of the week. Is going to be a blogger this week, so it's a guy who I've seen post regularly throughout the FM18 sort of season. Yeah, I don't think he's missed a week actually, but he's posted on his website, so I'll drop that in the comments below or in the description, so you can find it there. But it's FromElevenOne, our creator of the week, and he's doing a blog on Concord Rangers. I'm pretty sure he's come straight up from the Vanarama South where they start, and I think he's just got into the Premier League now. I think he won the Championship in part 27, which you can find on his website. But yeah, just a really good blogger, someone that I follow quite regularly. So go and check them out, guys.
Yeah, I said to you earlier, Cookie, I'd never really looked at the guy's work, but I'll certainly give it a check now that you've mentioned it, because it does sound really interesting, especially with Concord Rangers, as he's saved. Not a team that a lot of people do, really.
Yeah. I'm not really a big reader of blogs, to be quite fair, but we'll check it out.
And that just leaves us to tell everyone where they can find us. So, Lupus, would you like to go first?
Yeah, you can find me either on Twitter. You will probably add the Twitter handle to the description as well. And of course on YouTube. That is my main thing. But be aware that I do my content in German. So.
Rampant, where can everyone find you?
At RampantFM on Twitter and RampantFM on YouTube, and I do not do my content in German.
No, but you do in Scotland.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, and you can find me at CookieFM_ on Twitter and at CookieFM on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. You can also find the podcast on Twitter. It's at WingingItFMPod. And we are also on iTunes, SoundCloud and YouTube. So it's been great having you here today, Lupus. Thank you for coming along.
Thank you again for having me. It was good fun. Good fun.
Yeah, no, it's been really good. Hopefully the guys listening to this, the five viewers we have.
I will actually promote this and retweet it, and yeah, we'll just give it to my followers as well. So it's going to be a bit more, hopefully.
I could say something controversial, but I'm not going to.
So yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed it. Hopefully you've learned something from what we do on the first day in the job. Like I said, if you have any comments, drop it below, and follow, subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud and YouTube. Just leaves for us to say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See ya.
See you later.